Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Sherlock. Last time on Sherlock, we had the Six Thatchers, where there was a... Well, I was going to say, there was a mystery. Well, duh, there was a mystery. This is Sherlock, after all. But there was a mystery as to why someone was going around destroying busts of Margaret Thatcher. Turned out to be one of Mary's old assassin buddies. Yeah, one of her old teammates, basically, who was trying to find their specific memory drive in one of these Six Thatchers that he hid it in, basically. And he thought that Mary had betrayed them and so was trying to kill her. But it wasn't Mary, it was actually Vivian, someone who worked with the British government. And then at the end, Vivian killed Mary. That sucks. It was kind of a bummer. And just kind of sucked. I didn't like it. Just story-wise, even. But whatever. We have 2 episodes left of this show. Yeah. 2 episodes left. So we might as well get into this one. And let's see what's going to happen. I imagine we're going to have some conflict between Sherlock and John, definitely. Hopefully we get some stuff with Moriarty, too. Yeah. Here we go.
John, you've got to remember, it's important.
Mary.
I am dead.
Yeah.
Please, for your own sake and for Rosie's.
So it's not that bitch.
This isn't real. I'm dead.
How can you be sure? You might have tried.
No, if Sherlock Holmes wants to get in touch, that's not something you can fail to notice.
Huh. Whoa.
Won't you introduce me?
Okay. Sherlock's just making a Sherlock entrance. I mean, here's the thing. As much as I don't like Mary dying, this should create a great character arc for Watson, so... Hey. Toby Jones, yay. He could definitely make a good Sherlock villain.
Interferes with the memory.
The memory?
Ah.
Yes. I want to
So they'll
thank you,
forget.
Ivan. One of you is a member of the judiciary.
Okay. She's trying to remember
One of
everything.
you sits. I need to kill someone.
Kill someone.
3 years ago, my father told me he wanted to kill someone.
3 years.
One word, Mr. Holmes, and it changed my world forever.
Oh shit.
Just one word.
He's really out of it.
Word. We know the sunlight can only be entering the room at a steep angle. If the sunlight was able to penetrate the room when the sun was lower in the sky, then the paper would be equally faded, top to bottom. But no, it only
just
makes
looks
it when
like a
the sun is at the
madman.
zenith, eye level on the wall opposite the window. Then what do we know about the room?
It's a small room.
The room's small.
Huh.
Oh, Big Brother is watching you.
Literally.
Yeah.
We can keep
His
tabs.
big brother.
You didn't have to come in.
The way you think,
Superbly.
sweetly.
I'm not sweet, I'm just high.
Huh.
This way.
But we just came that way.
I know, it's a plan.
What plan?
What is it? What now?
Sorry, traced his route on the map.
Use KOFF.
Names aren't one word, they're always at least 2. Sherlock
Yeah.
Holmes, Faith Smith, Santa Claus, Winston Churchill, Napoleon Bonaparte. Actually, just Napoleon would do.
Or Elvis?
But I think we can rule both of them out as targets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it wrong then. Anyone?
Oh yeah, that. From last episode.
Sorry,
Oh, she's gone.
Faith?
3 weeks later. That's why they're following him.
Won't you introduce me? doing?
Mrs. Hudson.
But if Sherlock Holmes dies too, who will you have then? Because I tell you something, John Watson, you will not have me.
Oh, shit. Man, this is more of a character arc for Sherlock than it is for John.
I promise.
Thank you.
Oh, she brought him too.
Well?
Damn, Mrs. Hudson. She's gonna hit him. No. Oh, shit.
Right then, mister. Now I need your handcuffs. I happen to know there's a pair in the salad drawer. I've borrowed them before. Oh, get over yourself. You're not my first smackhead, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, that is true.
I've sent a car. Should be outside. Mr. Holmes gave me an address.
Well, he couldn't have given you this one.
Tuh.
When you're ready.
God damn, man. This episode is bonkers.
When did Sherlock give you this address? So 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks before you were abducted at gunpoint and brought here against your will, over a week before I even thought of coming here, you knew exactly where you'd need to be picked up for lunch?
Yeah,
Really?
the therapist's house.
Correctly anticipated there was...
I want you to be examined by Molly Hooper. Do you hear me? I said Molly Hooper.
We're really not going to like this.
Like what?
She's already here. God damn.
Hello, I'm sorry, Sherlock asked me to come.
2 weeks ago?
He knew you'd get a new therapist after I died because you'd need to change everything. That's just what you're like.
Ah, I love that. Simple editing.
Thanks.
You keep your weekends for Rosie, so you needed to see someone during working hours.
I do kind of like
Because
this.
you're an idiot. You found 4 men and 1 woman, and you are done with the world being explained to you by a man. Who isn't? So all he needed to do was find the first available lunchtime appointment with a female therapist within cycling distance of your surgery. My God, he knows you.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, that's
And in
how.
your head, John.
It's crazy because this is all in John's mind.
No, I'm a killer.
And it's John's mind going against him.
Calverton wants to know if you're okay going straight to the hospital.
Hospital?
Calverton's doing a visit. The kids would love to meet you both. I think he's sort of promised.
Oh, okay.
You're just like
God, this episode is so fucking weird. I'm exhausted, man. We're only halfway through, I think.
Oh, you can have this back now.
It took the phone.
What back?
Thanks for the hug.
You're just talking about the ones you know, the ones you've caught. But hello, dummy. You only catch the dumb ones. Now,
Damn.
imagine if the Queen wanted to kill some people. What would happen then? All that power, all that money, sweet little government, dancing attendants. Can't you take a joke? The Queen. If the Queen was a serial killer, I'd be the first person she'd tell. We have that kind of friendship. A big round of applause for Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Alright, that was weird.
Thank you.
I think they're both in on
To
it.
show you.
I've miscalculated. I forgot to factor in the traffic. 19.5 minutes.
They're late. Nope.
The footsteps you're about. Your daughter Faith's walking cane.
Why
Oh,
would she be here?
Spent a whole evening with her.
did
We had chips.
you're sure?
She liked me.
You don't know Faith.
You didn't see him take the scalpel,
Nobody saw it.
so you didn't know what was about to happen.
Of course I didn't know.
Oh no.
Let's see, shall we?
Oh no no no.
Loitering at the door and come in.
Who are you?
Uh-huh.
What friend?
Anyone?
He just imagined it. Would you stop laughing?
Faith?
She was never there.
I'm not laughing.
He's not laughing, Sherlock.
Stop laughing at me!
I don't think I'd be standing here now
Okay,
if it
so
wasn't for Dr. Watson.
Oh! Okay.
Stop it! What are you doing? Wake up!
Really hit him, Greg. Hit him hard.
Oh!
He's entitled. I killed his wife.
Yes, you did.
She jumped in front of a bullet, guys. Come on. It's not... I don't think that's Sherlock's fault. Asshole has a secret door. Now, is this real? I don't know anymore. What if this is all just in Sherlock's head? Like, this whole episode just hasn't happened.
Sherlock is a security concern. The fact that I'm his brother changes nothing.
Yeah, you said that before.
Ask him.
You said it didn't the last time, and it wouldn't with Sherlock. So who was it the last time? Who are you talking about?
Attaboy.
Nobody.
Oh, shit.
Sherlock's not your only brother.
Huh.
I want you to kill me.
Huh.
The only way to save John is to make him save you.
Oh, okay.
Go and pick a fight with a bad guy. Put yourself in harm's way.
Okay. The only way to save John.
I was trying to help him! Sherlock, what was he doing to you?
Suffocating me, overdosing me.
Come on.
Saline.
Saline?
Yes, saline.
What do you mean saline?
Well, obviously, I got Nurse Cornish to switch the bags. She's a big fan, you know.
Tuh.
Loves my blog.
Okay, good.
You're okay?
No, of course I'm not okay. Malnourished, double kidney failure, and frankly, I've been off my tits for weeks. What kind of a doctor are you?
We found 3 potential recording devices in the pockets of your coat.
Must be something comforting about the number 3. People always give up after 3.
The cane?
2 weeks ago?
3.
3!
Predictable.
No.
He planned the whole thing.
Just a cock.
You are a cock. God.
You didn't kill Mary. Mary died saving your life. It's her choice. No one made her do it. No one could ever make her do anything. But the point is, you did not kill her.
Alright, good. Alright.
That noise, that's a text alert noise.
What was that? What was what?
That was the
Text
woman.
alert of Irene Adler. She's the scary mad one, right?
Tuh. Scary.
What noise? Though I should mention that it is possible for any given text alert to become randomly attached
Happy
to...
birthday.
Oh.
Thank you, John. That's very kind of you.
Never knew when your birthday was.
Although you do.
She's out there, she likes you, and she's alive. And do you have the first idea how lucky you are? Yes, she's a lunatic. She's a criminal. She's insanely dangerous. Trust you to fall for a sociopath.
Oh,
She's also gay.
But she's, you know...
Because that chance doesn't last forever. Trust me, Sherlock. It's gone before you know it. Before you know it.
Yeah. Aww.
Just texting. But I wanted more.
Okay.
And you know something? I still do. I'm not the man you thought I was. I'm not that guy. I never could be. But that's the point.
That's cheating to him.
Who you thought I was is the man who I want to be.
Get the hell on with it.
Go be a better man. It's honestly her thing, you know? She wanted to be Mary Watson.
It's not a pleasant thought, John, but I have this terrible feeling from time to time that we might all just be human.
Even you?
No. Even you.
Damn. Yeah, where did the note come from?
His brother.
I already have your number.
My private number.
Oh.
Why would I need that?
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe you'd like a drink sometime.
Of what?
Up to you.
Oh, everyone's becoming human. I love it.
We spent a night together. It was lovely. We had chips.
That was her.
Excellent taste in chips.
What's that?
What's what?
Flour in your
Oh!
like I had on the bun.
I'm Eurus.
Euros?
Silly name, isn't it? Greek. Means the east wind. My parents loved silly names. Like Euros. Or Mycroft. Or Sherlock. Oh, look at him. Didn't it ever occur to you, not even once, that Sherlock's secret brother might just be Sherlock's secret sister? I think I'll put a hole in it.
This episode is bonkers, man. Man, this is Sherlock going balls to the wall, man. I gotta stand up for a sec. Hold up. Try to suck in my gut too while I'm standing here. Okay. Alright. This episode was nuts. Nuts. Oh, man. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. I just, like... Oh, my gosh. This episode, man. This episode was nuts. I'm glad, like, most of it is like, okay, well, you know, this was all Sherlock's plan, but... Alright, you know what? I think... Can y'all see me back here? Hey. Okay. I never thought I'd be back here. This is full disclosure, in case people don't know. I have not sat in this corner for a long time. I've done it once before. After an episode of Doctor Who. And I've always thought I would need something of that caliber of a shock to send me back here. And Sherlock did it. Sherlock did it. So, I'm going to be back here for a while. I don't know if I'll ever go back to the table in this episode. I think you guys can hear me fine. I think so, as long as I, sort of project to the microphone. But I gotta sit back here I gotta sit back here after that episode. Unfortunately, that means I don't have my water. I didn't grab that when I came over here, but, holy crap. That was bonkers. That was so crazy. So then, it's not even Moriarty. It's not even Moriarty. It's her. It's the sister, not Moriarty. We're not fighting a contingency plan like I thought. We're facing Sherlock and Mycroft's secret sister. Which, how? How do they have a secret sister? They don't seem like the kind of family that would have a secret sister. Especially after seeing the parents, you know? After seeing the parents, how do the two of them have a secret sister? I just, like... I am in awe. I am in awe of this episode. Because, you know, last episode, I didn't really care for the fact that Mary died. You know? Because I was like, oh, I want it to be Sherlock, John, and Mary going against Moriarty's contingency plan. But it's like, well, I guess then it'll just be Sherlock and Watson, you know? But then it's like, well, now we have to take an episode to help John, and then in turn help Sherlock. And then, it's not just that, oh, well, we took an episode on that. It's that, well, now we have the secret sister. Sherlock and Mycroft's secret sister. And she's the mastermind behind it all. She's the mastermind. She was John's new therapist. She was the one that, you know, spent the night with Sherlock. Why? What's her deal? What's her deal, you know? Like, why would she need to go after Sherlock like this? Like, okay, hey, at least, you know, she's unbelievably clever, like her brothers, but why? And honestly, I just want to know her story now, you know? I want to know her story. Because, like, why would they have a secret sister? You know? Because they never mention it to each other. They never mention it to each other. What they, you know, together, when like, Sherlock and Mycroft reminisce about their childhood, they never hint at her, you know? They never hint at her. So... But it had to have been something. It had to have been something, which is why Mycroft did reference her that one time. So, I don't know, maybe it was some, like, big incident that happened later, but they never hint at having a sister when the two of them are reminiscing, you know? She would also have to be the youngest, wouldn't she? She has to be the youngest. Because, again, the way the two of them reminisce, they say, you know, Mycroft and Sherlock, they thought Sherlock was so stupid until they met other kids. So... the sister had to have come in later. Or maybe they were separated at birth? Maybe they were separated at birth and only Mycroft knew of her later, you know? Oh, what is her story? This has renewed my interest in this season, I will say. Because, you know, last episode, I was all like, oh, okay, well, we're just dealing with Mary and, you know, her stuff. You know, we're dealing with Mary and, you know, her past and stuff. Like, all right. And this episode, I was like, okay, well, this is kind of interesting, you know, with, what was his name? Culverton Smith? Yeah. Toby Jones. You just say that. Well, let's just say Smith. We know Smith. But I was like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting, but, you know, we have to deal with, you know, John is in mourning and hates Sherlock, and Sherlock is on this destructive path. But then, honestly, everything is made up for by the fact that, you know, this was all Sherlock's plan, you know, to save John. And then, that this is all the plan of the secret sister. So, that definitely renews my interest in this season, you know? Definitely, and granted, we only have one more episode of the show. This is it. This is the last, next episode is the last episode. Presumably not of the series if, you know, they ever make more seasons, you know? I can only assume that they want to make more seasons. They just haven't yet. Because I think, isn't this like 2017 that season 4 came out? So, oh boy. But this has definitely renewed my interest in the season, I can say that. So, oh man, what? Like, I don't know. See, okay, now I also understand now why, you know, someone pointed out the line to me, because I didn't hear, you know, in season 3, episode 3, someone pointed out the line that Mycroft has. You know, I'm not one for, you know, sudden outbursts of brotherly affection. You know what happened to the last one. I didn't hear that part, and someone pointed that out. Well, thank you for pointing that out, you know? And of course, I believe at the beginning of last episode they played that too. So, they played that in like the previously on segment. So, oh, it's just so interesting, man. We only have one episode left. That's the crazy thing. That there's only one episode left of Sherlock. Okay. And I do have to say, the ending does sort of make up for the episode. Because, again, not that it was a bad episode. I'm gonna kind of repeat what I said last time, but it's not that this was a bad episode. I just wasn't the most interested in it because of, okay, Sherlock's going on this whole destructive path. John, you know, is mad at Sherlock and stuff, which we've had that before, honestly. We've had that before, so having it again, it's like, oh, great, here we go again, you know? And especially after, you know, this comes at the cost of losing Mary, who is a great character. But it's all made up for first off, in the end, because, like, okay, everything with Sherlock's self-destructiveness, that was all his plan. Great to see, I love that. And then, honestly, Smith was a very interesting villain, you know? And honestly, I do sort of feel like he could complete the trifecta of villains. Although we seem to have a newcomer to the trifecta. But if we have a trifecta of Moriarty, Magnuson, and Smith, that's a pretty good trifecta of huge, you know, villains. But, you know, he doesn't really seem... It seems like he's not really going to be... He's not as big as Magnuson, you know? And Magnuson is not as big as Moriarty. So, So that's one thing. But it seems like the sister... We don't know her name, which is kind of annoying. All I can just say is the sister, but it seems like the sister will now complete the trifecta of villains. The ultimate trifecta of Moriarty, Magnuson, and the secret sister. Oh, boy. My throat's getting dry. I need some water. I'm getting water. Oh, okay. Alright, let me get some water. Oh, okay. I know, I could get back in the chair, but I can't. You know, I'm down here, now I'm committed, so now I'm gonna stay here. I guess we should pop into the notes. The first thing I wrote down was John and Mary. Specifically, the fact that John was hallucinating Mary, basically. He was seeing Mary, which was pretty interesting. I like that the real interesting thing about it is that his sort of hallucination of Mary always told him she was a hallucination. She was never convinced that she was real, you know? So even though John was seeing Mary, it was still his mind telling him, I'm not Mary. Mary is dead. I'm in your mind. But it's that he didn't care, you know? I actually did like that. It's not just that, well, John's losing it and he's seeing Mary. It's like, well, yeah, but his mind is trying to tell him, you know? So I did really like that, actually. I'm glad I got this. Because with all... I mean, I always get dehydrated. Well, dehydrated. My voice already starts to go when I do Sherlock just because of how long these videos are. Now I'm having to project to the microphone, so... Okay. The next thing I wrote down was Smith and Memory. Again, a very interesting villain, you know? I really did like him. I feel like he could have completed the trifecta, honestly, even though he's not as big as Magnuson or definitely not as big as Moriarty. But I feel like he could have worked, and maybe that's a little bit of bias because it's Toby Jones. I feel like Toby Jones is that caliber of an actor to sort of complete our villain trifecta, you know? Like, I feel like Toby Jones would be great as a complete Sherlock villain. Like, if he was Moriarty or Magnuson, I feel like he would work, you know? I guess that's what I mean when I say completes the trifecta. Like, he is that sort of... I guess he's that sort of an actor that fits. Like, I believe it's, isn't it Andrew Scott as Moriarty? And then, I forgot the name of who voices, whoever plays Magnuson. Yeah, I don't remember his name, but all I remember is that he's Thrawn in Rebels, which is perfect. He's perfect for Thrawn. But, like, if we had another Sherlock Holmes story where the guy that played Magnuson was Moriarty or vice versa, like, that could work. So that's what I mean when it's like, okay, Toby Jones could work, you know, in this trifecta. That said, when all is said and done, I'm going to set up a bit. When all is said and done, you know, when all is said and done, the character himself isn't that sort of caliber character. So I guess that's more what I'm thinking is that, that is a good caliber actor for that. Anywho. So it'll be great to see. What the sister brings to the table. I'm pretty sure she's going to be completing our big trifecta, especially because she's going to be in the finale here. So let's see. But anyway, Smith and Memory. I thought that was pretty cool. That he just has this way of like retconning people, basically. So that was pretty cool. Which again, it's like, okay. So he basically retcons people, and Faith was like writing it all down, which was pretty cool. But he did take that. So how did the sister get it? I guess that would be my question, but I guess I'm supposed to ask that question, I'm supposed to ask that question. Sorry I'm flipping my pen. I hope that's not distracting, but I don't know. I just feel like doing it. Not successfully, though. Oh, God, this water feels great. So, the memory thing was pretty cool, I wrote down tracking. I thought that was, that was funny when Mycroft was tracking Sherlock when he leaves his flat. I thought that was funny, and when they said when the sister as Faith said, Big Brother is watching, and he's like, yeah, quite literally, actually. That is really funny. That it's like, oh, it is his big brother that's watching over him. So, wrote down anyone. Kill anyone. That was interesting, and that's the thing is that, this is 3 years ago, so Faith probably doesn't even remember any of that. But the sister, that's the thing, you now have to look at this episode through the lens of this was all set up by the sister, So, yeah, the sister set that up, and then, got the one word. That was also pretty cool. I just love, even as screwed up as Sherlock was throughout this episode, he was still, using his brain, which was pretty cool. And so it was anyone. I want to be able to kill anyone. I want to kill anyone, so he was a serial killer. That was pretty interesting. And then, okay, I wrote down the therapist. Oh. So John just happened to get a new therapist, which is interesting because, the explanation they give, like, okay, well, he got a new therapist, and of his choices, there were 4 guys and 1 woman. And he was tired. I like what they say, John was tired of a man telling him how the world worked, or something to that effect, so he went with the woman. And that is what Sherlock figured out, so that was very clever, actually. That was very, very clever. And then just the fact that, which, of course, obviously, the sister was able to position herself as, She was able to get in as that therapist, Oh my gosh, so many things. Also, just the fact that, okay, first off, Mrs. Hudson, MVP is Mrs. Hudson in this episode. Like, holy crap, holding Sherlock at gunpoint, cuffing him, putting him in the trunk, and bringing him to John. That was hilarious. And of course, Sherlock knowing exactly where John would be. So, that was really funny. I really liked that. And then, just that whole scene, where Sherlock went through how he predicted where John would be, what therapist John would end up with, Like, 2 weeks in advance. That was brilliant. And then, 3 weeks. I think they said it was 3 weeks in advance that that he contacted Molly about it to make sure that Molly showed up in order to, examine Sherlock. So that was funny. Good uses of Molly in this episode, I have to say. Let's see. And then I wrote down the hospital. That whole hospital scene, like, with the kids and everything, that was tense, you know? That was really tense. That was incredibly tense with, talking to the kids about stuff. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, look, I have no doubt, if I can grab my pen, I have no doubt that kids would be kind of interested in Sherlock, especially with his blog, which I also like that running joke that no one believes that it's John's blog, which is just stupid, honestly, but I do like that. So yeah. But, like, I have no doubt that at least some of those kids would have interest in Sherlock Holmes, but to go over cases with them, murder cases, and then, talk about a serial killer, it's like, this is not appropriate, It's like that one nurse said, Is this distracting? I feel like this might be distracting to someone. Not me, actually. It's actually kind of keeping me talking, like, with a good stream of consciousness. Oh. Alright. So that whole hospital scene was tense. I also just like... I do like, sort of... I don't know, I don't want to say, like, the audacity, but just the fact that... Because it looks so bad for Sherlock that they're going there, accusing him of being a serial killer, and then he's doing an advertisement where he's saying he's a serial killer. Food! A serial killer! And it's like, oh, it's just all an ad campaign, and oh, Sherlock, you high bastard, you're crazy. And it's like, no, but it's true, he is a serial killer. It's just weird, It's weird how it played out exactly and not exactly how Sherlock wanted that to go, So, that was very weird, I mean, I think this whole episode was just weird, man. This may be the weirdest episode we've had so far, Ugh. Need water. My foot is falling asleep. That's not good. The next thing I wrote down was Faith and the Scalpel. There was a plot twist. Even just a big plot twist for Sherlock, that Faith, the daughter never went to him. That's the twist, is that, even at the end, the twist is that, well, it was the sister. There it is. It was the sister. It wasn't, her, but it all worked out, And then, I like, because they explain it later, whenever there's something that Sherlock doesn't understand, he stabs it. Which is dumb, but, when he is high like he was, that does make sense, actually. I'm going to change to over here. Alright. So that's the thing. That does make sense, When Sherlock doesn't understand something, he stabs it. And when he's high like that, he might accidentally try to stab the person he doesn't get. And I like, they trick us. They trick us because they make us think, well, Sherlock, pulled the Magnuson, he killed him, Like, they toy with you because they show you Watson talking to Lestrade later. I miss Lestrade, by the way. We haven't had him for a little while. I miss him. I guess we had him in The Abominable Bride, but still. That was 2 episodes ago, so I still really miss him, It was nice to see him, even if he didn't do much. But so they sort of fake you out. It's like, oh, he pulled another Magnuson, he just killed him. And it's like, well, no, he didn't kill him, but he did sort of make a lunge, and then John stopped him, you know? So that was interesting. And, you know, John got to kick ass, which was pretty good. So that was good. Okay, I guess these two notes sort of go back to back. I wrote down want to die and save Sherlock. So that was the interesting thing, was that, you know, him basically saying, it's like, oh, well, you know, you like being in the mortuary. You don't, you know, you talk to the dead. So I need to die so that you will confess to me. Clever, very clever. But then says like, oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And that's the thing. He didn't come there to die. He came so that Smith would confess, which he did. And then the whole point of this, the entire point of this whole going after Culverton Smith, the whole thing was to put Sherlock in danger so that John would save him. Because the only way to save John is for John to save someone else. Very clever, I have to say. Very, very clever. And I love that as soon as they come in and they catch him, you know, Sherlock says, he tried to suffocate me and he tried to, you know, make me overdose. Luckily, I wasn't actually being poisoned, basically. I wasn't being drugged, actually. And everything was recorded on John's original cane. John's old cane from episode 1. And then he's just back to being him, normal Sherlock that we haven't had this whole friggin' episode. That honestly, it made up for the episode. And again, not that it was a bad episode, but, you know, I wasn't really liking the whole, alright, John thinks it was Sherlock, and Sherlock is, you know, being self-destructive, and, you know, this is all because of what happened to Mary. And it's like, well, yeah, but at least on Sherlock's side, it was part of the plan, you know? It was part of Sherlock's plan. So I did like that. Oh my god, my voice is dying. Luckily, I'm taking a break after this recording. I still have to do Doctor Who and maybe Death Note today. But I will at least give my voice a break. This was not my smartest idea. Sorry. Hi. This water is a godsend, though, I have to say. This is all just because I have to project to the microphone, you know? So, I like that this was all Sherlock's plan, and on top of that, he did catch a serial killer. And I also like that, well, the recording could be dismissed, you know? The recording might not actually work. They might throw it out as evidence, but he just keeps confessing, you know? My pen just flew out of my hand and hit the fan that I have here on the floor. So that was really funny too. That's like, well, he just keeps confessing, and I love Lestrade being like, "That's enough for today." It's like, oh, but I have more. It's like, tomorrow. We'll continue this tomorrow. It's like, that's just so crazy. And I like, okay, so John confessed to cheating on Mary, but he didn't, you know, he didn't do the dirty, I guess you could say. What he considers cheating is all the texting, you know? And I like that, you know, it's like, oh, well, it's honestly because everyone holds John to this high standard, even John, you know? And honestly, he was human. He was human. Just like Mary was human, just like Sherlock is human, just like Mycroft is human. You know, now that he's getting in a relationship with Lady Smallwood, hell yeah, Mycroft. Good for him. So that's the thing. They are all human, you know? And I like, you know, John saying, like, you know, the man that you think I am, that's the man I want to be, but I'm not. Which is exactly what Mary said to him. You know? That is exactly what Mary said to him. I like that. There are parallels between John and Mary. Brilliant. Love that. And then, the plot twist of the ages. The plot twist that sent me into this corner. It was a sister. This whole thing was a sister. Sherlock and Mycroft's secret sister. Who was even the girl that Watson was texting. What an incredible plot twist, I have to say. And she is shaping up now to complete our trifecta. If the show goes on and we actually have another villain, then I don't know what we're going to call it, our quadfecta, I guess. But right now we have the trifecta of Moriarty, Magnuson, and Sherlock and Mycroft's sister. Who hopefully, well, I don't know. I don't know what her name is. I was going to say it needs to be M, but her last name is Holmes. That's the problem. You know, James Moriarty, Charles Augustus Magnuson, and then whatever her name is, Holmes. So it doesn't quite work out, but I don't know. What if it's Mary? That'd be some shit. That would be crazy if her name was Mary Holmes. Okay, did she say... Okay, you know what? Screw it. I gotta know. Did she actually say her name at some point? Hang on. Netflix has to reload. I was talking for so long.
Oh, no. I met him before, like, when? We spent a night together. It was lovely. We had chips.
Brilliant. So brilliant.
Mr. Holmes. Yeah. Nicer.
Just my shirt held up. I knew I shouldn't have trusted her.
Culverton gave me Faith's original note.
Oh, okay.
Put us in touch.
Okay.
Sherlock ever tell you about the note? I added some deductions for Sherlock.
Interesting.
Quite good. But he didn't get the big one.
Miss me.
In fairness, though, does have excellent taste in chips. What's what?
Flower in your hair, it's like I had on the bus.
You look very sweet. But then
Brilliant woman.
you have such nice eyes. Amazing the times a man doesn't really look at your face. Oh, you can hide behind a sexy smile or a walking cane. I'd just be a therapist talking about you all the time. Oh, please don't get anywhere. I'm sure the therapist who actually lives here wouldn't want blood in the carpet. Oh, hang on. It's fine. She's in a sack in the airing cupboard.
Who are you?
Isn't it obvious?
Yeah.
Haven't you guessed? I'm Euros.
Euros, right.
Silly name, isn't it?
I forgot.
Means the east wind.
I'm sure you were all screaming at me.
Names like Euros or Mycroft or Sherlock. Oh, look at him. Didn't it ever occur to you, not even once, that Sherlock's secret brother might just be Sherlock's secret sister?
Okay. It was Euros. Oh. I forgot that she said her name. So I'm sorry if y'all were yelling at me and yelling at your monitors. That was her name. You heard her name. Euros. Euros Holmes. Mycroft, Sherlock, and Euros Holmes. To be fair, Sherlock's first name is William. William Sherlock Scott Holmes. So we have our new villain, Euros Holmes. And we will find out. We will find out about her next time on Sherlock. I guess I could have just stayed at the desk to sign off, but screw it, we're here. Yeah. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. This episode was crazy, man. And I am very excited to get into the next one. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, the camera actually ran out of space while I was doing the end card, so yeah. Links are all here, over here. You can click on them, you know what they all do. And thank you for watching this video, first and foremost. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next episode of Sherlock.